Hello, hello.
Hi. Okay, let's see if I can get you on in Instagram. So excited to be talking about SuperZoo today.
Yes, yes. One of our
Oh, yay!
Hi, that was really quick
That
today.
was. Oh my gracious.
And now I'm not even prepared. I'm not prepared with my thing and where it needs to go. It's so quick. Hi, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Angela, how are you? Oh, wave. Angela has been in California. They're doing the BK Pets book tour.
Yes.
Started in California. So how exciting is that? I can't wait for all of the dates throughout the year. But we're talking about SuperZoo today, which is like one of what is that? Like one of our favorite things in the year.
Yes, it is. It is. And I want to start by saying that we are not being paid to promote it
No.
in any way.
No.
Because I was putting out the like blurb for the StreamYard and it almost sounded like I was pitching, like why you should come. And it's just because it's so much fun and there's so many
Yeah.
benefits to it, but we're not hired to say this. So take it for what it is.
No.
It's just
It's
us promoting something we love.
hashtag not an ad. Let's go with
Exactly. Exactly right. So thank you guys for joining us. We're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. Lots of people coming
Yeah.
on. Hi, Kat Savant, whom I met in person at Super Zoo last year.
Yay.
And we did not get to see Angela last year, but we did see her team at CBD Dog Health. So that was
Yeah.
awesome.
I know. Hopefully I think she'll be there this year.
Yay, Angela, I've
Not
never
to let
met you
us
in person, so I would love to.
No way. Oh my goodness.
I've had her on my show
Yeah,
and I've met her team, but I've never met Angela, so I'm looking forward to that.
she's the best. Well, okay, so Super Zoo, for anybody that has not been, is like the biggest pet industry show ever. I don't know. Is it the biggest one in the world? I don't know. It's definitely the
Well,
biggest
there
one
is
for us.
there is the one in Europe, which I can't remember the name of it. There is a big trade show in Europe, and then there is Global, which just is about to happen in
Yeah,
Florida.
in
Those
March.
are like the top three, I feel like, and Super Zoo is the biggest. And I believe they had like 3,000 exhibitors last year, and they do so much. It's not just like trade show. It's like
No,
education. There's grooming competitions. There's just so much. They have awards for like most innovative pet products, new products. I feel like we should start by sharing what our first year was when we went. So I don't even know when your first year was.
what year is this? This is 2024. So 22 was the first year I went.
So that was my first year too, and you and I met there. So that's one of the
Yes.
reasons we love it so much. Is we met at the Two Crazy Cat Ladies soiree that they do every year, and we've been friends ever since. And then last year we went together, so we shared a room, and that was so much more fun because I love to travel alone, but having a roomie was fun. And we attacked the trade show together. Uh, so I guess I already know the answers to all of these, but I'm gonna almost like interview you. So
Yeah. Oh,
what's your favorite, like, usually without me, like what would you recommend somebody like who's new to Super Zoo, like what do you think that they should kind of like strategize when they visit?
so I think, it kind of depends on the person and what you're going for. But I think it's definitely worth your time to look at the education tracks, plan that first. Plan what education you want to attend. Because if I remember correctly, the education starts prior to the trade show, but then there's also some education kind of here and there throughout the trade show.
Yes, on the trade show floor, yeah.
So that for me is like the first thing you want to plan, because you want to be, those are at certain times. So you want to be there when you need to be there, and, know what you're interested in, cause there's a track for, how do I want to, like, pet health, kind of like there's a lot of nutrition and different things, because there are a lot of, if you think about the pet space in general, we've got toys, we've got grooming, but a big part of it is food and treats. So there's a lot of education around nutrition, and then there's a whole other track around grooming. So if you're a groomer or you're interested in becoming a groomer, these kind of tracks are going to be really interesting for you. And of course, like knowing who's grooming when, and because throughout the whole show, different groomers are actually physically grooming dogs, and they're doing different competitions, and that's kind of a really cool thing to see as well. So it kind of depends on which side of the fence you're on, or maybe you're on both, I don't know. But planning the education pieces out so you know where you need to be and when is the first thing I would say to do.
Yeah.
Because all the vendors, they're going to be there for 3 days. Go visit them. But the education is only at certain times.
Exactly right. And there's a lot of different things. I remember there being like social media for like general pet businesses. There was like customer service based discussions where it was like for any kind of pet business. There was a lot for people who are trying to sell a product. Maybe they don't have the funds to be like exhibiting yet, but they're trying to see what the competition's doing, what's trending. So there's a lot of like sales pitching conversations in the emerging brands area, so that people who are either exhibiting in emerging brands or are kind of browsing and kind of checking out the new products that are out that year are going to be able to like meet with investors, just hear from investors, kind of learn about how to enter the industry or how to promote your product in the industry. So there is definitely something for everybody. As a journalist and writer in the pet industry, I go as press. So I basically go wherever I find interest. But if I were, say, like in my previous life, I was a professional pet sitter and I had a professional pet sitting business. So I would probably go more for the education, to meet with any kind of interesting coaching types, or learn any best practices, check out new software, for example, new gear for dog walking, pet sitting gear that might be interesting to me. I'd probably go look for content that was relevant to my clients, just for future blogs and things. So it just like Jessica said, it depends on why you go, but there's something for everybody, especially when it comes to the education, because I do think they're trying to target like, and they and in order to even register, they have different like segments of or groups that they cater to. So I go with a press pass because I'm part of press. I'm affiliated with Pet Life Radio, so that's considered press. But there are service business registrations, there are dog trainer registrations, there are exhibitors obviously get their own registration and their own badges. So there's different ways that you can go in, and that should kind of gear you toward what it is that you are kind of prioritizing while you're there. So how did you registered a service, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because she does consulting, so she provides services to pet parents. So she was able to register as service. So somebody who maybe is in a pet sitting industry, trainer, a groomer, you would register the same way. There are a bunch of different ways to do it. Most of us get free registration. So I think that's really one of the most important things to say, because exhibitors pay a fortune to go, but I don't pay. I don't believe you paid, right? Your registration was free. So they want to get pet people in the door. So most people who are going to be attending, unless they're exhibiting, are going as, complimentary registrations, just so that they can see and consume and share, because there's a lot of obviously instant social media presence for all of these exhibitors, especially the ones who have interesting products. So the idea is to get as many pet people there. And then it's August in Vegas, which is actually a really affordable time to be there. It is always in Las Vegas. It is always at the Mandalay Bay.
Yes.
Yeah, so Vegas is hot in August, and I actually think it's great because I live in El Paso and it's super hot here, and there are great pools over there, so I'm fine with it. But for a lot of people, like August would not be the best time to go to Vegas. I think it's fantastic. I always, the first day, take time for the pool, for the spa, for a nice meal, for a show, and then I go into work. So I think it's a great time to be there. Nothing is super packed. Like the shows are available. I think it's great. The hotels really range. So the first year I went, I think I paid like 50, 60 bucks a night at the New York. Nothing fancy, but it's 2 hotels away from the convention hotel or from the Mandalay Bay. So last year we stayed at the Mandalay Bay, which is really nice if you can swing it because you're picking up a lot of stuff. And so taking breaks in the room and dropping off like stuff that you've been given is also nice. So thank you, because you're the one who booked that.
Yeah, well, and I first year I don't think I really utilized it well because I stayed at I always say it wrong. Is it Delano or Delano? I have no idea. I want to say
Delano.
I want to say Delano because I'm Southern. But
it's the Delano. Oh, you stayed at the Delano the first year. Okay.
Yes. And I don't think I utilized it as well as I could have. But last year I definitely took some breaks. And I think one day I was just like, it might have been like on the second or third day. I'm like, I'm exhausted. I went up to I got lunch, took my lunch up to the room.
That was not lunch. I hate to break it to you. That was not lunch. That was at 3:00 when it closed. You and I had not eaten anything all day. We stopped by like the press room, remember? And we had like a soda or we had like a coffee and a granola bar. Then we hit the ground running. And at 3, you were like, I'm getting lunch and I'm going upstairs. So it wasn't lunch. It was almost lunch.
It was almost, but that's like, that goes to show you like how much there is to see. And honest, like I never.
That was the last day. We had already been there 2 full days.
Yeah.
And we literally stayed until they started packing stuff up.
And I don't see everything. I know you don't either. And I'm okay with not seeing everything, but just so people like understand how huge, what did they say? It's like 3 football fields last year or something. It's like 3 football fields. And so you do have to go in with a plan. If you do not go in with a plan, your head is just going to be spinning. It is going to be spinning. And I'm okay with not seeing everything because there are some things that I really don't care to see. And I'm
they have like they have live animals and they have like aquarium stuff, which obviously you and I would like just walked past it. Right. The grooming stuff we saw like maybe that one last day. Yeah. They had for groomers, they had really cute grooming clothes, which I was like really impressed with. There was a line forming at a place that had like the cutest little overall dresses, kind of like really cute, chic, like grooming stuff. So for groomers, there's a huge area that's just for grooming supplies, clippers, scissors, all the stuff you can think of. But yeah, like you and I maybe walked it once.
Yeah. I think like maybe on the last day we kind of just breezed through. Like, let's just go on this side because like where CBD Dog Health was last year, it was like right on the back end edge.
Yes.
So, like we like breezed through. And what I enjoy most about the grooming section is the dogs that are there that are being groomed.
Well, you see them all over Vegas, right? You see them all over Vegas. And like, as obviously people who are attending, we see them in the hotel and all the people who are just vacationing are like, what are all these dogs and like bright colors and like stripes doing here? And we're like, oh, there's a pet conference or pet convention going on. Like there's a trade show. Like you're going to see a lot of these, but it's really cool to see what they do. I'm not a huge on coiffing and grooming these dogs, but these particular dogs are owned by groomers who are used to doing this, who do this all the time. So these particular dogs are almost like model dogs. So it's not like something I would do to my dog, but it's really cool to see. And you get to see them create these crazy things. And there's awards for like most avant-garde groom. There's awards for like the, you know, different styles that they do. They have themes. Like it's really cool for a groomer. I think it's such a fun, and I'm sure there's obviously a great opportunity for groomers, which is probably the best thing about SuperZoo is that most of us who work with pets work alone. So meeting other people of like mind is really nice.
Absolutely. So when you go in, okay, you go in with a press pass. And so I got to see like how you do it last year. But I want everybody else to know like how you do it. How do you, when you walk into the trade show floor, what are you doing? Where are you going? How are you organizing yourself?
Okay. Well, okay. So the first year I made maybe a couple of appointments, but that's it. The first year I went to emerging brands. That was like my first thing that I wanted to see is emerging brands. Cause obviously I've been in the industry for over 16 years now. I don't want to see like the established brands. Even if they have a cool new product, I'm sure I'll learn about it. But I wanted to see like the new innovative stuff that was coming in. So that's where I spent most of my time the first year that I went. And then last year I had more appointments because I did have, you know, as press, they get your name, like vendors get your name. So they contact you. And so like I had a million emails being like, hey, stop by our booth or hey, do this. But I really just kind of like checked on a couple that I really wanted to connect with. Like there was a few that kind of stood out to me just because of who I am, what I like, and blah blah blah. So I went and I did those. I kind of worked around those appointments that I set, and obviously you have to set appointments according to their, you know, their schedule too, because they're meeting with other press too. So I spent most of my time in emerging brands. And we did a whole half a day, like in the awarded section, like the best new innovative products. I don't remember what they call that. Is it the new product showcase?
Showcase, yeah, the new
Yeah.
product.
So we spent like a half a day, you and I there, kind of just looking, because that's kind of like the summary of what you'd see everywhere else, right? Like in order to see these like top choices of like the SuperZoo committee, you'd have to kind of look at every single booth, which you don't have time for. Like you just in 3 days, you just don't have time for. Raw Paws Adventure says I have OCD, so I literally started at 1 and ended at the end. And I marked what I wanted to go back to and spend more time the next day. Worked well for me. That's really good. Actually, I start in the press room every day. So we went in the morning to the press room. We sat down, grabbed like they have all sorts of like pens and things there. So like we grabbed a list of what we wanted to see that day, and then we kind of like strategize. Again, we definitely wanted to see emerging brands. We definitely wanted to see the showcase of the standout new products. And then we obviously had brands that we wanted to visit with. So we wanted to see CBD Dog Health. I wanted to see For Cats and Dogs Home, one of my favorite brands of all time everywhere. I wanted to see Operation Good Boy, whom I had an appointment with, but they're a former military officer started it, so I wanted to kind of keep it in the family. I'm a military spouse. I wanted to see friends that were exhibiting, like Kat Savant, who I was friendly with on social media, but I hadn't met her yet, so I wanted to stop by her booth. And then right next to her, like, was a friend, Jennifer, the poop bag girl with Green Line Food Supply, so I spent some time there. So, you know, we wanted to see, oh my God, Goodness Gracious, because you introduced me to them, so that we wanted to stop by there. You introduced me to the people at Small Batch as well. So there were people that we both knew, like Green Juju, that we wanted to say hi to. We both did interviews right at the booths, because that's what we do. We create content, and we wanted to like get like little interviews from the showroom floor. So we did a lot of like hopping back and forth, but every morning we strategized just to try to make it make sense. Because again, it's so much. And we still went back and forth, like multiple times, because we would go to like interview somebody and they were busy. So we'd have to go find somebody else to visit and then come back. So it was really, it's massive. It's so fun. The cool thing about it is you don't pay, right? So you don't pay to get in the doors. We even got there early one morning and we were like sitting there waiting, and like you see such cool stuff. Like we saw, like, remember the disabled dogs walking in?
Yes,
like
there was like a train
It was
Uh,
the cutest thing. So we're like sitting there wondering how we got there early. And
yes.
we were watching all these dogs come in. You see the exhibitors come in. You kind of wait. It opens, I think, at 8:30 or 9. I can't remember now. And then from there, you just go until like 5. The last day it closes at 3. And the last day, I don't recommend you go past maybe 1 o'clock unless you want to buy stuff. Because
Yeah.
past 1 o'clock, everybody's breaking stuff down. They're selling stuff. So like it's really, you've missed like the bulk of the show at that
Mhm.
point. I kind of wish that this is just me being, again, a little bit type A. And I used to be a meeting planner before my pet industry experience, and I wish that they required vendors to stay till 3 and then break down. I understand that some people are trying to get out of Vegas before, like that evening so that they can enjoy their weekend, because that's usually a Friday. But as somebody who's attending, I wish that,
Mhm.
the requirement was that you can sell stuff after 3 and not break down until 3. But by 2 o'clock, everything's like kind of gone. So
Yeah.
the bulk of it is the first and second day. If you can go for 2 days, those are the days you want to go. If you want education, it starts the day prior. So last year it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday was all education. Wednesday was education and trade show. Thursday, education and trade show. And Friday, minor education and half day trade show. So I think that it's a really worthy thing to go. But if you can go in those bulk days, that's probably the best. By Friday, I think everybody's pooped.
Yeah, it's so much. And Kara actually brought up, she said that we met for the first time at SuperZoo last year. So I think that's one of the biggest things for me. And you kind of touched on it earlier when you're like, a lot of us in the pet space work alone or with a really small team. Like there are
Yes.
some, that have really small teams. And
Yeah,
so,
but it's like for me, I was managing my team, right? So it wasn't like
yeah,
I wasn't gonna socialize with them.
right.
And it was when you talk about pets with your team, sometimes it's like work related. This is just fun because you get to talk about like,
Yeah.
your pet peeves and like oh my God, I can't believe that this brand is
Yeah,
doing this, or, oh, did you see this? Like, wow, how crazy is that? So it's like, it's fun
right.
it's like a little shady sometimes. It's a little, oh my God, what were they thinking? Or, oh, how cool is this new product? Did you see it? So you're like talking about
Yes.
pet stuff like in a fun way, not in a
Yes,
work way.
so much. And but we do get to like all meet up and come together, and people who formerly have only met online. So like you were saying, you've only met Angela online.
Yes.
We actually get to meet up and see each other in person, and that is so fun. And Amanda just joined, and Amanda doesn't hardly ever she doesn't get to go to Super Zoo. She has little babies, little babies. And I want her to go to Super Zoo so badly. And that is actually a good segue to what I was getting ready to say anyway, because one of the other people that I generally go with is Janet, who owns a small independent pet store. And so Amanda does as well in Williamsburg, Virginia. And so one of the benefits, if you own a pet store, is that you're going around and you are literally shopping for what am I bringing into my store and what is changing in the industry, and like
Yes.
getting to meet. You're going to try to go this, Amanda. So registration is already open. So please register. I love her so much. So yeah, so it's like if you are a store owner, you're literally shopping for what are you putting in your store. And I think this is one of the best places to do it because you get to meet the people behind the
Yes.
products. So it's
Yes.
not just, oh, I like this product and I like what it says on their website. It's also, I like this person behind the product.
And it's
And
usually the owner or like their top tier management that's there. It's not like sometimes people like will have, for some trade shows that I've been to, that you see like the entry level kid who like, they're like, just man the booth, right? We need a body in
right.
the booth.
Yeah,
This
no,
has
it's not like
always been, everybody that I meet has always been either an owner or a decision maker or somebody you can literally negotiate rates with right then and there. I
yeah,
do feel though for the retailers, because they're working hard. Like I
they
love
are.
it. I do work, like it's tiring and it's a lot, but I enjoy like, meeting people and talking to them and recording them and whatever. But like Janet last year, I could see her like
Yeah.
glazing over the last day because she's looking at numbers, she's looking at
Mhm.
inventory, she's looking at where she's going to put it in her store. She's going to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
it
and
is
you're
work
getting
for them.
you're literally ordering then and there because they have
Yes,
show discounts, and so, yeah,
exactly.
it's a whole thing, and while we are working, it is also really fun for, like, content
Yes,
creation is work. Like, I
yes,
don't know that everybody
100%.
understands,
Oh
like,
my God,
really
yeah.
how much work goes into content creation, but it's a different level for these store owners that are
Right.
going
It's money.
around.
Like, they're doing transactions.
Yeah,
So
all
they're
day.
literally like working in a way
Yeah.
that's very different. And the cool thing for everybody is that after hours, there's a lot of events. There are a lot of events. So like, last year we went to dinner the Wednesday night, just like a small group of us. Then Thursday was the Two Crazy Cat Ladies event. The one night we also went to that press event. Remember, where they presented, that
Oh,
company
yeah.
presented some
Yeah.
stuff. So we did that. We did dinner. We went to the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. I had dinner with like some friends, like Jennifer and Jessica from Chicago, from my previous life in the pet industry. You guys, we all went out after the event at the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. So it was like 3 events that
Yeah.
night. We went to bed at like what, 2:30?
We were in, yeah, it was like 2:30, and I think the crazy thing was, like, that next morning was the morning we got there early, and we're like, "How did we do this? How did
No,
we pull this
what's
off?"
really crazy is that this woman took a shower and blow dried her hair before going to bed after 10 hours on a trade show floor, and then dinner and this and that. And then she went to bed all beautiful. And then we all woke up and we showed up early somehow, which was hilarious. But that's like the energy of it. It's like you have this energy of like wanting to see everybody and mingle with everybody and just get as much as you can done, like, while you're there, because that it's once a year, it's 3 days, 2.5 days. So you get the most bang for your buck by like really being active and like engaged in the whole process. So it's very social, I will say, very
Mhm.
educational, very informative. It is a really great opportunity to literally, I mean, honestly, plan your content for the next year. Like, you could
Yeah.
easily plan your entire year of content based on who you saw, what you did at SuperZoo. So for a pet sitter, for example, who's like, oh my gosh, how do I create content that's not, I walked your dog today and, diarrhea,
Yeah.
or, like separation anxiety, or like travel pet care. Like, how do I create stuff that's not like from my, from my operation? This is a really great place to kind of, first of all, be seen as a professional, as a player in the industry, but also share that experience with your clients who obviously are not going to go, who obviously are not going to have that experience, and who may not even realize just how involved you are in the pet industry, right? So like, if
Yeah.
you're sharing, I'm at SuperZoo, and if you shared like I go every year, or even if it's another trade show that's closer to you, or a pet sitters convention, or a dog training convention, or something like that, these things really do give you credibility in the industry. They make you stand out with Google, exactly, especially like any kind of blogs that you're sharing or creating your kind of persona in the industry and making you more of a valuable source online. So, I mean, I think that the benefits are huge, but I think you and I go mostly for like the social aspect of being with people of like minds that you enjoy, that you're friends with, who also share a passion for pets, while also like getting to see, what the industry that we love is up to, right? Like,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
really cool to see. Like, I don't think that I would know, based especially being in El Paso, like what was happening, because we don't have any really great independent retailers here. The pet industry is still kind of like lower tier here, so with the exception of our pet sitter, who is wonderful, but like really, it's really hard to find really cool stuff here for pets. So going there for me, or for anybody in a similar region, is really eye-opening. Thankfully I came from the DC area where we had all that, and I've been in the pet sitting industry for a long time, so I've been to conferences. But unless you go to these things, like, the whole world is like moving past you. The pet sitting
Mhm.
world, the pet world, the pet product world, the pet nutrition world is going past you. You have no idea, unless maybe you get lucky and find out online.
Yeah. There's so, and I find every year that like I will be going through, because I spend most of my time, I will go through the new product showcase and then the emerging brands. And then the rest of my time I really spend in the healthy pet section. So they kind of break it up so you know where everyone is and where different things are. And even at that, I don't get through everything in 3 days.
No.
And that really, like, I don't go through most of the floor when I do it this way, but I go through the things that are important to me. So that,
Right.
again, that's know what's important to you going in, and what you're there for, and have a plan. And like, if you are a content creator, like we are, like, have appointments. You can like set appointments
Yes.
with people so that you are getting things done. But I also find as I'm going through that I'll see little changes that brand, like a new product that a brand has coming out, or a change to a product that a brand has out. And it makes me think of all these other questions. And then I'm like, why? And then I get to like talk to these people about, why are you doing this? And why did you choose to make this change? Or, you know, like there's so much to, like, I create my own education when
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah. It's really cool to be able to ask people and put people on the spot, really, because that's the expectation, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to ask you all the questions. And like, there are times when we were interviewing people and we got a question and we both were like, got an answer. We were both like, oh, okay. Cause it may not meet like our expectations as pet parents and pet pros. But we would kind of like glance at each other and be like, well, thanks so much, because
Yeah.
it wasn't for us. That doesn't mean that
Yes.
it's not for anybody, but it's not for us.
Yeah.
There also is the opportunity to kind of create some kind of bond with somebody so that we can invite them on our show,
Yes.
communicate
Yeah.
afterwards. So like, I've had a ton of people on my show from people that I met at SuperZoo. And for my show is mostly like, there's some education to it, but it's entertainment. It's telling stories of people in the industry. So I really care about their personalities. Like, I want to meet with somebody who is like really comfortable with strangers. And like, SuperZoo is a great place to tell if somebody's comfortable with strangers, because like, you're not going to man a booth unless you're really comfortable speaking to strangers.
Yeah.
You're there to sell your product and to like get clients and get retailers to look at you. So I love doing that because I can actually see, because somebody might have a great product, but they don't want to have anything to do with social media. They don't want to have anything to do with like, being on a show, on a podcast, video, nothing like that. So it's nice to be able to see them and kind of, recruit them for my show, but also like we've had to be like, well, thanks so much. And like, move on.
Yeah. And Isabel let me know that I cannot control my face when we're going through the show floor, because my criteria is different from her criteria, and there's nothing wrong with that because our shows are very different.
Yes.
And we will stop and talk to somebody, and I'm like, why are we stopping here? And Isabel is like, so interested. And I'm like, I am so glad you were interested. But my face is just like,
no, it's not even your face. It's the energy and the temperature of the room changes when she's ready to walk away, when she's like, does not see the point of something, or she doesn't get it. Like, it's not for her. Like your podcast is specifically about health and nutrition and like holistic pet care. So like, she's obviously looking at those specific products, but I'm like, ooh, look at this leash. Oh my God, how cute is this? What's it made of? So obviously,
I know,
totally different, but like, I could literally feel like the temperature changing in the room and the energy changing in the room when somebody said something that was not quite right for Jessica, like for standards. And I would walk away and be like, well, what, you didn't like blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no. And I'm like, I could tell. I could literally, and I didn't have to be looking at her. I could just be feeling her right here next to me. And she'd be like, and then sometimes, like if I dragged on too long, she'd be like, okay, I'm gonna check my phone. Cause she's like, can we
walk away.
Keep this show moving, please? Yeah. No, but it's so fun and to go with somebody who, like, you know, obviously she introduced me to people, I introduced her to people, like we had a great time. We, you know, going into the press room was really nice. We got to meet, we ran into the two crazy cat ladies, Jay and Adrian. Read the room, right? I learned to read the room. I really am good at reading the room. I read it so well that I could feel her behind me, being like eye rolling internally. But yes, we have to read the room. But she and I went to the press room. We ran into the two crazy cat ladies, Jay and Adrian, that first morning, and like it was just like screaming and joy and seeing them and old friends. And we met like the women behind Blog Pause. We saw them there last year. I saw a bunch of them. They took actually more people last year or the year before last. And I was like, hey, I found you on my show. Emily from Kitty Cat Go Adventures was there. So like you run into people you probably already know. We saw, you know, the Cat Writers Association team there who was interviewing the two crazy cat ladies in the press room. So it was nice to see. And then I got to know some of the SuperZoo people who actually manned the press room. And like I was able to refer one of the people that I met, Rachel, to colleagues in the industry for her cat issues, having some behavioral issues with her cats. So I was able to refer them to cat people who weren't even there. Cat Behavior Alliance, but you know, you kind of make these connections and you're able to help each other in your pet parenting and in your pet profession in general. You're able to help each other in some way and connect for future too, because like you might not need anything today, but then you might remember like, oh, Isabel is on Pet Life Radio and she knows, you know, Tim Link, maybe she can put me in touch with him or whatever. So, you know, these connections are really important because sometimes cold calling or emailing people is just, you know, people get a lot of emails. So it's not the same.
No, it's not the same at all. And I was actually just getting ready to look up this person's name. Ooh.
While you do that, I'll say that one of the standouts for last year for me was meeting Mindy Meyering of the Rainbow Bridge deck. She was showing her deck of, I guess, pet grief and loss cards. She made a deck of cards that help people through their grief because there aren't enough resources out there. So we spent a lot of time chatting with her and her team. They were amazing. We loved them. And then I eventually had them on the show. I loved meeting Cat Savant and seeing her products because I had seen that she has the Scoop Buddy. Thank you, Kira, for knocking over my light. You see me move around my dog walking on my setup. But I got to meet her and actually see her product in real life. So like, you know, you're told about a product, you see it online, you're like, oh, that sounds cool, but you have no idea how it works. So you get to touch and feel these products that, you know, and then I was able to see like, oh, this product would be really cool for somebody with disabilities or somebody with carpal tunnel or my kid who's 6 and wants to help with my litter box, et cetera, et cetera. So you kind of get to see and feel things that online it doesn't do it any justice. And honestly, I will say the leashes and stuff, when you see them in person versus online, right? Like if you don't have like a really I don't have a chic like pet supply store here, like an independent retailer. I don't have anybody that carries like high-end dog leashes and stuff. So seeing them in person always like makes it so much better. And it makes me, you know, I literally only shop for pet products like that at SuperZoo because a lot of people sell them. So I love Gold Paw series. Gold Paw series is one of the best. Kira wears their martingale collar and their leash, and it's because I discovered it at SuperZoo, and I will not buy anything else because I just love the way that it works for my old dog.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just pulling. So it was Tim Mitchum, who I'm gonna have on the podcast soon, and he had emailed me and was like, "You know Isabel, do you?" And I was like, "Of course I know Isabel. Who doesn't know Isabel?"
I love Tim. He's the best. Tim is awesome.
Yeah, so you just get to connect with so many different people in so many different places, and discovered them there. Oh, yay, Kara!
I literally have Tim's products right here, literally sitting right here.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
I've got to prep for that. I've got to prep for that one still, but no, it's so fun. It is a very social event, but it's like I get so much work done there for content for months. Like I can get months and months of content.
I still have content I have not shared.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I still have content from 2022 I haven't shared. But it may be irrelevant now. I don't know. But
Same here.
yeah,
But I got
because
more content last year, so it was like so
yeah.
much that I'm like sharing it slowly. And it's really cool because another thing that I was able to do is meet a lot of the pets that I follow online. Because I do love to
Yeah.
follow pets with their own. Like my pets don't have
Mhm.
any kind of Instagram accounts, but I love following
Right.
other people who do. And I met like Apple the Golden. May she rest in peace. My heart goes out to her family who lost her. But we got to meet her
Yeah.
at the Green Juju booth. She was just walking by, and you could just tell that this dog was something special. And immediately just like started videoing, and her mom was like, whoa, like I didn't even know you were videoing. I was like, I'm so happy I was, because I got to see like that love that they shared. It was so nice. And I was able to share it recently again. But
And she
I
passed.
met,
Yeah.
I know she passed recently. I'm so sad. She was such a beautiful dog. I hope she's wearing
Oh my gosh.
luck. Bowie the Siberian, yes. And then Mavi the surf cat. And we met the praying dog. Oh my God, what is her first name?
Oh
Why am I
yes.
forgetting her? The beautiful hounds. Why am I forgetting?
Oh
I'm gonna look her up right now because I can't believe I'm forgetting her name. The praying dog.
yeah. I mean, there are so many, and then there's like a
Dixie. I don't even have to look it up. Dixie the
Oh,
praying dog. She was there. We met her dad, and we learned about her story and how she became like what in his life had him look for a therapy dog, and Bruce Wayne the
yes,
pug.
Bruce
Yes, of
Wayne, the pug
course. We
always.
love Bruce, but Bruce I met the year before. So
Yes,
Bruce is like VIP. He goes out with the human.
he does. He does.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. He's adorable too. And I'm not much of a pug person, but he's adorable.
I also met oh my gosh, the therapy dog. Oh my God, why am I forgetting it? It starts with an M.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know all
Uh,
of their names, but I know you were very excited to meet all of them.
yes, the therapy dog. Oh my God, is it? All right, I will look it up because I'm on.
Okay. But
Um,
going through it just reminded me because
Magnus. Sorry,
oh,
Magnus the
Magnus.
therapy dog.
Yeah.
And I also met somebody that I've wanted to have on the show for a really long time, Chrissy Joy and the Joy Crew. So I met her youngest. What was his name? I think it wasn't Mochi. It was something like Asian food inspired. Oh my God, I can't remember now. But I met them, and they were all like, what's really cool is that the owners, the pet parents of these like famous pets are all friends. So they were like having a happy
Yeah.
hour together. And I was invited by Dixie's dad. And I was so excited to just like come in and see like they're all buddies. Like the pets are buddies, the people are buddies, and then all the cats, because a lot of cats on leashes, which is one of my favorite things because I feel like cats don't get enough
Yeah.
love. So
They
all the
don't.
cats, you saw cats everywhere, and not just on the trade show floor. Like we were out in bars at night, and there was Mavi the surfer cat, and there
Yeah.
was Bruce Wayne the pug, and there was whomever, and it's really cool to see because somehow, I don't know if it's always the case, but Vegas becomes really pet friendly that weekend or that week.
It does. Like I try to think back to other vacations in Vegas outside of SuperZoo, and I don't really remember. Like it's not a place you think of bringing your pet. I mean, you don't even think of
No,
bringing your kids to Vegas. Why would you think of bringing your
I
pet?
know.
But
Agreed.
yes, it is very pet. Like you're just walking through the casino to go to dinner, and you're seeing dogs everywhere, which is really cool. I really like that.
And they're all decked out to the nines. Like they're so cute.
Yeah.
Like the Yorkies with their pearls and their jackets
Yes.
and their this and their that and their strollers. It's so cute. It's just fun. Like if you love pets, like it's just, I don't think that there's a better way to spend a few days. And because it's a tax write-off if you're a pet professional,
Yeah.
I really don't think that there is a better way to spend a few days. And my recommendation would be to take that first day that you arrive, get there early, hit the pool, have a good meal, get a good rest, and then hit the ground running the next morning.
Yeah. And I got stuck there last year because a hurricane of all things came through.
I'm so mad that I did not stay Saturday night, let me tell you. I wanted, remember I tried to change my ticket
Yeah.
and I couldn't because they were gonna like basically it was like you're gonna lose your ticket.
Yeah.
I wanted so badly to stay because I would have been happy to be like stuck in Vegas another night with you. You were stuck
Yeah.
for 2 days though. You were stuck 2 extra days.
2 extra days by myself. Well, I mean, I did, Jay and Adrian live there, so I got to hang out with them a little bit more. But yeah, I'm like going to see Carrot Top by myself, like, and he's not good. Why am I doing this?
That's hilarious. You didn't tell me. I know you went to the spa.
I did.
Which the Mandalay Bay has a great spa because it has. I've done it on Tuesday, so I told Jessica like go to the spa. It's so good. So you pay for whatever treatment you're having, but they have like these little like jacuzzi like heated pools. They have the cold plunge, which I only got to my knees. They have the sauna and the steam room. They have so much that you can do like included in your service, and they have obviously like a quiet lounge, and they have like little treats and teas and stuff. So I saw that you did that, but I had no idea you had gone to Carrot Top.
It was not. I didn't stay the whole time. It was not good. It was not good at all.
I love a Vegas show. There's no shame in my game. I love a Vegas show.
I do too, but like, and I normally really like. I like comedy. I really like seeing comedians, and I tried. I really did. I gave it my best effort.
You know the Cirque du Soleil, Mad Apple?
Yeah.
That one's really good. It's like stand up and Cirque du Soleil at one.
Yeah.
In one.
I went to that one in 22.
That's the one I went to. I went to that one in 23. And then I went to Love in 22, which was really sweet. It was very, very sweet. I kind of preferred the Mad Apple just because it's more adult. Like I feel like Love was really cute and my kids would have loved it. But go see Absinthe. Oh my God, I want to go so bad to that. Are we getting together to do that?
We are right now, Amanda. Choose the date and time, and we will go see Absinthe.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go. Yes. I see it all the time on my because I Google Vegas a lot and I see it. Dang, I'll go to all the
shows. There we go. Kara's going too.
Let's get a group together and do it because it's so much fun to do these things together and we have a good meal together. You can't beat those Vegas restaurants, really.
If we do it far enough in advance, we'll just get everybody to come and like
let's plan it so we can get a big group together. That'd be so much fun.
It would be with like Angela and Jenny and Carter and all of we'll just get everybody to go. I know Roxanne was there last year. We hopefully she'll be there again this year with Solutions Pet Products and that reminds me. So just in the event that Jeff Dury happens to be watching this, I tried to record with him. He works at Green Juju now. And I tried to record with him last year and he was like, no. And because he was the only one at the booth. And I'm like, dude, you've already been on my podcast. What are you so worried about? And so this year, in case you're watching, Jeff, we will be recording together. He's
putting
just
him
like,
on the spot.
Yes. He's like,
I
no, I
did
don't
say
want to
that
do
most
it.
of the people are comfortable. I guess there are exceptions. One of the highlights for me has always been like the furniture and stuff. But unfortunately, a lot of that is like it's hard to bring it to you because it's hard to know where you're going to be able to buy it. My favorite brand, which I've already mentioned once and I will mention 1,000 times because I love their stuff, is For Cats and Dogs Home. They're based out of Canada. So they sell in Canada. I don't know that they've made their connections to sell in the US yet. So like as much as I love them, I've had them on the show. We talked about interior design and pets, which are literally my two favorite things. And you won't see a lot of furniture and stuff because a lot of it's like China based. Obviously we can't really interview. There's a bit of a language barrier sometimes. And also because I don't know where you can buy it. Like, I don't really feel like I'm going to like bring it to you, but that's a really cool thing to go to see too. Lots of homewares, lots of, things that you think you're only limited to like PetSmart and Chewy for. Lots of stuff that you don't see unless you go to like a really specialty or online place. We're getting better stuff. I feel like Lowe's just came together with is it Jonathan Adler, somebody, to do like a little pop-up for pets in Lowe's locations. So hopefully we're going to see more of these like creative furniture, you know, things that are more modular that kind of work for home and pet at the same time. But that's really fun for me to see in SuperZoo because again, I don't have a retailer where I can see that stuff outside of here. And if you're in Vegas, you want to go to For Cats and Dogs Home on the last day because they do sell some of their stuff. I obviously can only ship, thanks to Jessica, I shipped a rug home, and I intend to do it again this year, but at least one. But I can't ship like a piece of furniture. But if you're local or driving, really good stuff you can pick up there that is not available in the US, like literally not yet that I know of.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip because as you were saying earlier, like you can like that very last day, the last like couple of hours, they'll just sell you stuff. They don't want to pack it up. They don't want to take it back with them. But I will say, like, if you're planning on doing that, like try to set that up with them in advance to be like, okay, I'm coming back at the end of the show for XYZ because other people are doing that. And if you want something, you need to talk to them about it.
Yes, my rug was sold. I was gonna bring 2 rugs home last year, but my rug sold before I got there. But I got my one, which is amazing. It's for Halloween. So this year I'm gonna get another, maybe 2. So bring your FedEx number.
Bring your FedEx account number because there is a FedEx office.
Or a friend that has one. Or a friend that has one.
There is, there's like
they make it. And they make it really easy because there is a FedEx location right next to the showroom floor. So for those people, obviously, who are exhibiting, this is a huge exhibit area. So the people who are exhibiting are shipping stuff back. And that's why they sell stuff at a discount because sometimes it's cheaper to sell it there than to ship it back. So it's a really good opportunity to grab some really cool stuff. It's a really good opportunity to see friends, to learn about the industry, and to see what's trending. So like, if I remember correctly, 2022 was a lot of CBD. Like I remember so much CBD in every shape, in every way, in every, formulation. And then last year was more varied. I feel like there was a lot more emphasis on nutrition last year. Raw feeding was way more, I feel like raw, homemade, food, human grade, all that stuff was way more, I feel like, popular last year. I almost feel like I would have to ask them, but I would venture to say that the natural area is growing while other areas are maybe getting
smaller. Hope so. I mean, we can only hope so. I mean, there's definitely, especially going through the new product showcase, you see trends like that. You see what is coming because there's more emphasis on bugs, like
prevention,
fly larvae. Well, no, I'm sorry. Like as a protein source, crickets and grubs.
Oh yeah, yes. Like, well, I saw more of those in 2022. I saw more of those in 2022. The cricket was everywhere. Everywhere. And then the little invasive species fish. What are they called? Minnow, whatever.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those were everywhere. I feel like in the emerging brands. So I feel like I just saw better food options last year. Like just like in general.
Yeah. Well, so in 22, it was like I saw more of the, I guess, the back end where people who were manufacturing like the cricket protein were there. But last year, what I saw was I had to look at the ingredient label of so it was like, I guess brands are actually using it. So I'm seeing actual products with it in there more, which I'm really on the fence about. Not that, I mean, obviously dogs and cats in the wild, they're going to eat bugs, they're going to eat crickets. They're, the grasshoppers are flying up and the cats are jumping and chasing. Like that's a natural thing. It's the regulation of how they're being raised and grown and like that kind of thing isn't there yet. So that's what's making me like really, I don't know. I think we need to see a lot more on that. And how useful it is and the protein differences and,
Yeah.
all of the
Well,
things.
I actually in 22 met Chippin, in the Emergence brands, and I did have them on the show. And that was for those who are interested in any way, it's episode 69, Chippin in for the Pets and the Planet. And it is really interesting. Kathleen, she talks about how they're using these invasive species of fish, right? Because it's so more sustainable. She's talking
Yeah.
about how they take care of the crickets, what their life cycle's like, all those things. Because like you said, there's a lot more. There's a lot that we don't know about how
Yeah.
these things happen. So
Right.
that was a really good episode if you're interested in that. I mean, they have a really great, like they have a natural, probiotic because of their exoskeleton and all these things. So like it's really cool to learn about these things. But like you said, I don't know about how practical it is because it's also more expensive, right? Like you have to raise a lot of crickets to make a 40-pound bag of cricket
Yeah.
dog food. So yeah. One thing that I did remember seeing a lot of this year was equipment for, I thought you meant bugs, like
Oh yeah. There
protection on
was.
hikes and stuff.
Yeah.
Remember there was like that big
Mhm.
mask for foxtails. I was like,
Yes. Yeah.
like really good, really great, but like, I mean, I don't know how many pets are going to be comfortable wearing that, but like a really great idea. There was a lot of equipment for hot days. Remember that thing that was soaked, that like coat that was like water that
Oh, yeah,
had
yeah,
water
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
So it was like for hot days, for like, for like hikes and
Mhm.
stuff to keep your pet cool. And it was actually wet to the touch, but it wasn't dripping. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
They had a lot of remember that light up leash that was like a white glow in the dark nylon. There was a lot of cool stuff that I feel like, again, it's just hard you don't know that it even exists. Like you might be
Yeah.
like, oh God, I wish my leash was glow in the dark. And you might go
Right.
and find a glow in the dark leash that's not very good. Whereas there's
Right.
a brand making a really good sturdy one. There was a lot of really
Right.
cool stuff, a lot of really cool like harnesses and leashes and collars, a lot of tactical gear. That was definitely a trend in 2023. Tactical, like
Tactical
the
gear.
closures that were more like, so my husband is a paratrooper, or was a paratrooper, so he like looks at things and it's like, I bet a member of the military designed this. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
that because it's like the quick release or the very big like secure buckles, like stuff that paratrooper would design after they get out of the army. So a lot of tactical gear that keeps your pet safe, lasts long. You maybe invest in one piece and it lasts like 10 years, those
Yes.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
That was really, and it's nice because I feel like where I live, it's all like really cheap, made in China, millions at a time, like huge operation. This was way more, niche and way more quality products. And again, you could ask the question of like, where did you get this? Like, where does this come from?
Yeah. And I think
you know,
that is, I don't know yet. I'm gonna find out this week if I'm going to global this year. But from my that's like a big difference in SuperZoo and global is like at SuperZoo, it is a lot of, not all, but a lot of US based companies. You're seeing a lot of the small, the really small companies that are doing really quality products. Whereas in global, you're seeing more of a range of things coming from all around the world that
yeah.
still may be good, but also may not be.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, it's just a different thing, right? Like it just
yeah,
depends on what pet parent you are. An entry level pet parent just wants a leash. Like, but for
right.
me, if I'm going to spend money on a leash, I want it to be like a leash that I buy one time and that it becomes their leash. And it's, the leash that
Yeah.
when they pass, I hold on to and remember this was their leash. Like that's just different strokes for different folks, right? Like, so
Yes.
I definitely feel like I cannot go to global. I was asked to go and I cannot because I will be at the Pet Sitters Conference in the NAPS conference in
Yes.
Savannah. So if you are a
Savannah.
professional pet sitter, go there. I'm the keynote speaker and the
Right.
closing speaker, and you should go in Savannah. I think there's still a way to go to that. NAPS is the National Association of Professional Pet Sitters. This is their annual conference.
Kim's about
It's
to go
amazing.
crazy. I'm warning everyone.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, we have 1 minute, so we're just going to say goodbye.
Because we're getting an Amazon package. And I said her name and distracted her long enough that Oh, Kimberly, what are you doing? There she goes.
There we go.
There we go.
Just in time. That's our alarm. That's our alarm. So
There we
next
go.
week we will be back at the same usual time, which is 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Central Time. Do the math for all the other times. We will be discussing a different topic, but the reason we wanted to talk about this today is because SuperZoo registration just opened last week. So that's the goal of getting you excited, is so that you can go and find out whether or not you want to attend, do a little budgeting, check out, and then register. If you need any help figuring out, how to register and stuff, the folks at SuperZoo are super helpful. Like the first year, I just sent an email being like, "What do I do? I'm pressed, but what do you need?" So if you find any kind of hiccups on the website, just email them, and they're very, very quick and helpful when they respond.
They are. They're very, very nice people. And come meet us. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be there. Obviously. That's why we're talking about it.
Heaven forbid something terrible happens and we can't go, because I mean, it's literally it's my favorite week of the year. So.
Yeah. It's my second favorite now that Nautical Dog has their More You Know Pet Summit, in case Amanda's still on. No, really, I'm very excited for that. But that's in July, so there's no overlap. And it's all sold out. You can't go to the More You Know Pet Summit now if you don't have a ticket, but you can sign up, and registration is now open. Get your butt on a plane to Vegas and go to SuperZoo, and we'll see you there.
Yes, and we'll see you there. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. We will see you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.